All right, chat. Chat. We're gonna talk. Let me swap to just chatting since we're just gonna be chatting. Um, just chatting. We got the Game Awards. I want to talk about this. Nothing necessarily wrong or bad or whatever. I've been an avid watcher of this. This is going to be what, the 10th year, I think, is what they were talking about. I've watched most of them, which is the like surprising part. Um, it is nice that there is such a thing for the gaming industry. And so, yeah, I just want to chat. Let's take a look at all this. I'm not actually going to be voting on stream, but I wanted to just chat about all this. Let's start from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. They have a bunch of categories. For those who aren't aware, the Game Awards is very much like the Oscars or the Emmys for the video game industry. And this all just came out yesterday, I want to say. Day before. Very recently. GameAwards.com. And I want to just talk about this. Now, am I going to be taking this talk and throwing it up on YouTube? There's a chance. There's a chance. There's a good chance. But let's talk anyways. Best esports event. So like, okay. And mind you, as we talk about this is all like I'm gonna be talking about my opinions. That doesn't mean that they're factual, it's just my opinions, and my opinions might not be something that you agree with, and that's okay. So with that being said, like I'm gonna tell you what I would vote for is Valorant Champions, but that's because I'm biased, because I do sometimes play Valorant and I've watched the VCTs. I enjoy the VCTs. Like, I just enjoy competitive Valorant. I enjoy it. So, like, that's my vote. What's likely going to win is Worlds. League Worlds. Like, that's probably what's going to win. It is what it is. Best esports coach. So, as I was saying, the funny thing about best esports coach that I saw on Twitter is this guy right here. They have not coached this year. That's what they said. Like, they themselves went on Twitter and said, funny, I haven't actually coached this year. So it's very interesting to see like the range of what they cover for potential candidates. Right, and yeah, like with esports coach depends on how you want to see. Yeah, I mean every like a lot of I would say that most, if not all, these coaches deserve it. Yeah, and yeah, Koala, I agree. Potter's the only one that I know. And so I mean, I think I think it'll go to him, but I would like Potter to get it. But that's just, again, my opinion. All right, best esports team. Dun, dun, dun. And mind you, a lot of these esports ones, they just do real quick in the beginning before the Game Awards even starts, which is always kind of funny. And again, we got a lot of teams. I'm blocking it a little bit. Let me move my fat ass. So we have Evil Geniuses for Valorant, Fnatic for Valorant, We got Gaming Gladiators, JD Gaming, Team Vitality. Um, again, I I feel like JD Gaming will probably win, but if I had a pick, it can be. I know you say that it cannot be. I think it can be because who else? Who else is gonna win? Who else is gonna win? Who else? Who else is gonna win? Who else is gonna win amongst these five? You tell me who's gonna win among these five. Like Vitality is the only other one that I think, because this is a popularity contest. Vitality is the only one that comes close in terms of popularity, but League is always in the esports scene. League is always in a league of its own. I would like Fnatic to win, but again, I'm biased. I'm not a Fnatic fan, by the way. I'm not a Fnatic fan. Like, they're not my team in Valorant. I just respect them. It doesn't matter if they lost. We're talking about like just best overall team, you know, and it's especially like if we're talking about where they were before to where they are now. Again, like JD Gaming was like, it's just hard to say. But again, popularity contest, League of Legends generally wins the game awards, like voting stuffs, because again, it's just a popularity contest, and people will know JD Gaming and GG over here. That's it. Because League and Dota are like the two most popular esports. Vitality had a great year, but again, I'm very partial to Fnatic, especially Boaster, who's here in the front. Uh, you know, there was some very like heartfelt moments that I saw from him, but again, I don't think people give a shit about like kind of character growth and things like that. I mean, yeah, like again, like I said that before. So like again, going back over here to best coach, like when you look at all this, like again, we have a CS coach who again, he even said he hasn't coached this year, so I don't know if people are gonna vote for him or not. And another CS. You have Overwatch League, which is dead. Overwatch League is dead. RIP. And so then you have Valorant, and then you have League. Again, I would love for Potter to win. But more than likely, because again, this is literally anybody and everybody can vote, League is probably going to win. And then we go back over here. Again, when we're talking about best esports event, like World Championship still reigns as one of the things. Worlds here and International for Dota 2 are the two largest like esports events. Evo is pretty big. But again, like Worlds and International, because both of these have TV deals. I don't think anybody else has TV deals. Like, I don't think Valorant was shown on even on ESPN 6. Whereas League and Dota both get either ESPN or ESPN 2. So, like, by pure money, pure reach, one of these two is winning best esports event. So, yeah, and again, it's tough. And again, I do think, like, Florida Mayhem, I will say Florida Mayhem did very well this Overwatch League this season. They definitely came far away from where they used to be. I don't know how much people are going to vote for, because Overwatch League has always been, like, bottom of the esports barrel in terms of, like, people's love and respect of the various esports. And again, now it is dead. Overwatch League, dead. Yeah, Eastern coaches are better. Yeah. No, I would agree with that statement as well. So, again, like, as much as they lost, I think JD Game will still come up with the win, at least here in the Game Awards. We'll find out. December 7th, we'll find out. Again, I would personally love for Fnatic to win. My bias. Again, I'm not a Fnatic fan. for better or for worse, just so you guys know, you guys can roast me. Uh, I'm a Sentinels fan. Let's move on. Best esports athlete. We got six. We got six. We got Faker. We got Zywoo. We we got Demon One, Hydra, Ruler, and Imperial Hal. We got six. And yeah, like you said, Sagiri, in my opinion, Faker, no contest. But yeah, I think Faker, hands down. Hands down. What's your reason? Yeah, I mean, you're again, he's also literally like one of the most well-known esports players of all time, period. And I believe he's getting an exemption from military service, the because they have their mandatory military service they got to do, and I think he's getting an exception from that, which is crazy. It's crazy that Faker Faker gets, I believe, is getting an exception from military service. Meanwhile, BTS, they all gotta serve. Right, right. See, Van Asian, I was already on it. Yeah, like Faker gets an exception. That's the crazy part. Now, mind you, uh esports is joining the Olympics. I don't know which games are specifically coming to the Olympics. I think League of Legends is one of the games. I don't know. Don't call me. But anyways, um so he will get to represent the country if that is the case. And so that's part of the exemption there. So like that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Like BTS, BTS is like huge, and like one of the biggest things about like for Korea right now, I would say, is like they're exporting K-pop either directly or indirectly, which is raising South Korea up, and they don't want to give an exemption to arguably the most popular or one of the most popular K-pop groups out there. I mean, it's too late. Some of the members of BTS are already doing their service, and other ones will be doing their service sooner rather than later. I mean, yeah, I mean, I get you. I get it that it's hard to be up there for 10 years, but BTS, BTS is responsible for billions of dollars in revenue. Like, BTS was able to crack the code that all K-pop groups beforehand could not crack. How do you become popular outside of South Korea? BTS figured it out. And because BTS paved the way, the rest of K-pop came. Like, that's just my opinion on it. Like, it again, it is what it is. Um, South Korea, like, oh, you didn't know? Okay, well, it's fine. I get saying it's not an Olympic game, but what BTS brings economically as just an existence is important. That would be like if the United States had a mandatory service for both men and women, and we forced Taylor Swift to join the service. Like, nope, no exception for Taylor Swift. Even though Taylor Swift is for every one concert that Taylor Swift does, that's $1 billion. Like, that's $1 billion every time Taylor Swift says, I'm going to go sing or perform here. And BTS, I'm not saying that they're on Taylor Swift level, but they make a lot of bank. They move a lot of money. And guess what makes the world spin? Money. And I think it's easier slash more beneficial overall to have BTS keep performing than to have Faker keep playing. Now, granted, In my opinion, I think both Faker and BTS should both get the exemption, but I'm not the South Korean government. Um, so it's not up to me to decide who gets it and who doesn't. But if I had to pick one or the other, like I'm going to say BTS shouldn't serve. Let's keep the boys playing. Let's keep the boys singing. Let's keep BTS performing and Faker sorry, not sorry. I don't know. But anyways, Faker's gonna win. Like I don't know. Like I again as a gamer, like I don't play League, but the one name that I've known in League my entire time of knowing League has been Faker. Like Faker's been like one of the dudes that you just know. Like he is the dude. And so I get it. But I only know Double Lift as of recently. I didn't know Double Lift like prior to like the last like couple few years. Um Again, I don't follow League that closely, but I've always heard Faker. I've always heard of Faker. So, but again, again, I'm not the South Korean government, so I'm not. Nobody come at me. Nobody come at me about like what are we doing? Like what's the plan? Like I'm just saying, like if I had to pick one dude who yes can represent the South Korean country in the Olympics, and the Olympics is pretty good, or the the members of BTS who are financially, economically responsible for a lot, and I can only imagine how much more K-pop could grow if BTS was still like if they weren't in the military and they were still doing their thing right now. Um, I can only imagine how much bigger, like exponentially, K-pop could be if BTS was just still doing their thing. Because as much as like we could talk about Blackpink, we can talk about New Jeans, we can talk about Stray Kids. BTS is still like the juggernaut, and so like if they were still doing their thing, everybody else would benefit. But I think it's safe to say we all agree Faker for the win on best esports athlete. No offense to any of these dudes, because these other players here, all good. He's just in a league of his own. All right, I'm done. Moving on. Best esports game. These are your usual suspects. Again, my cup of tea is Valorant, but League's probably gonna win. But Counter-Strike 2 just came out this year, so maybe the CS2 might have spiced it up enough that CS2 gets the win this year. Who's to say? Who's to say? I think it was normal CS. I think it would have a chance. Maybe. I thought Counter-Strike 2 was kind of like popping off. Like I thought a lot of people were really enjoying it. Again, I don't really follow you hear more people about CS2? Okay. I knew leading up to the launch of CS2, a lot of people were excited, but I haven't followed any like opinions and takes on CS2 after it launched. I'm surprised about PUBG Mobile being on here, but it is what it is. And of course, Dota 2. But again, my vote will be for Valorant, but I think League's gonna win. Moving on. Content Creator of the Year. I am gonna be honest with y'all. Let me move this right here. So we have Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Quackity, Spreen, Cypher PK. And yeah, like Koala, like you just said, I only know Iron Mouse. I I only know Iron Mouse. I've heard of Cypher PK, but I've never seen Cypher PK. I've never seen them. So I'm gonna be honest, like I'm impartial. If you guys like somebody on this list, vote for them. Moving on. I have nothing there. They do have most anticipated game, recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential. I can read, I promise, chat. Demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. We got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaw, and Tekken 8. Decent potpourri. Yeah, they're giving awards out for games that are not even out yet. Who is it? Who is it? The award show. God, Gamescom. Gamescom does this too. Gamescom like hands out an award because during Gamescom, which is like E3 but in Europe, they do awards like this too, where it's like, hey, we're gonna like give an award to a game that's coming out soon. And I'm like, we shouldn't do that. Because I'm pretty certain Starfield won an award at some point, and Starfield didn't turn out that great. I'm gonna be honest. Like I like Starfield, but like it's not what anybody has expected. Anyways, yeah, why is GTA 6 not on here? That is actually a great question. I think it's because it would automatically win. And whatever. It should still GTA 6 honestly should still be on here because Take-Two and Rockstar have already come out and said GTA 6 is on the way. The difference between GTA 6 and the rest of these games is we know when most of these games are coming out. We don't know when GTA 6 is coming out. So I like Starfield, but like here's the thing to like keep in mind about Starfield. Starfield has a bunch of loading screens. Like when you let me say this. So you imagine you're in your spaceship and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to this planet. So you fast travel to this planet, warp speed. The warp speed, whatever, to get to a planet is a loading screen. Okay, I'm gonna go onto this planet. That's a loading screen. Now you got to get out of your ship. So getting out of your ship onto the planet, that's a loading screen. Now you're on the planet. Have fun. Go at it. If there's a building on the planet and you have to go inside the building, that's a loading screen. When you're done inside the building and you're going to get out, that's a loading screen. And then you want to get back onto your ship. So you get back on your ship, you go into the cockpit and you take off, loading screen. Going back into orbit, that's a loading screen. So if you have a modern PC, the loading screens are pretty short, but it still like it can be a vibe. I'll be honest, it can be a vibe killer. Like I only play it in short bits because of all the loading screens. Yeah, you could fly through space. If you're interested in flying through space, though, and if space travel is your main thing, I would rather suggest a game that is going to come up on this list. No Man's Sky. I would rather recommend, like, if you're going to put your money down on a space experience, No Man's Sky is probably the better bet. So, like, if you're looking for a good bang for your buck, I would put it down on No Man's Sky. Again, Starfield is fine, but No Man's Sky is seamless. Like, oh yeah, or get Xbox Game Pass and then do Starfield. You can check that out. You can check out a bunch of other games. So anyways, for most anticipated game, I'm certain Final Fantasy VII will probably win among this bunch. I am very curious about Star Wars Outlaw, but I mean it's hard to say which one's going to win, but my actual vote will probably be Hades 2. I would probably vote for Hades 2. Is the historian's video on the No Man's Sky the one that talks like it was like the it talks about like the downfall and then now it's redemption arc that it's on? Is that the one? Yeah. Okay. I seen that one too. I seen that one too. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Man, what a journey! What a journey that game was on. All right. Best adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. I'm gonna be honest. The Last of Us. That's my vote. That's my vote. Like, I think this has been a decent year for adaptations, but The Last of Us. I don't know if anybody's seen the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm curious to see it. I'm not curious to see Twisted Metal. I the trailer for Twisted Metal, I was like, eh. Yeah, and yeah, Gran Turismo looks interesting. Again, but even from what I saw from Gran Turismo, like for me, like just looking at the trailers, like The Last of Us like really hooked me, which is why I had to see it. So I saw it. And yeah, so I just really like that. That's my vote. Again, I don't know who's gonna win amongst this because I think in terms of popularity, Super Mario Bros. Wins, but maybe Last of Us wins because it's a very uh loyal fan base for The Last of Us. Best multiplayer. We have Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I can tell you that what's probably going to win, but I'm going to tell you what I want to win. I want Party Animals to win because Party Animals so fucking good. I want Party Animals to win. I can see Street Fighter 6 winning, but I honestly think just because of what it is, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is probably gonna win. Um Party Animals is so fun though. Like, yeah, it's a riot. But all these games pretty respectable. Even Diablo 4, I know that it's kind of fallen out of favor, but it had a lot of people playing that launch, and that mad respect to that. Yeah, battle. God, words. Baldur's Gate 3 can be played single player or multiplayer. Uh and again, like it provides Baldur's Gate 3 provides that like I want to play D&D with my friends, but nobody wants to be um Battle Wars 3 got nominated. Get out of here. It Baldur's Gate 3 provides that we all want to play D&D, but nobody wants to be the dungeon master. So like that's what Baldur's Gate 3 provides. So um I mean, I think in just purely multiplayer, I think both Party Animals and Street Fighter probably rank up in the top of multiplayer out of these five. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be mad whoever wins, but my vote's gonna be Party Animals. Now, best sports racing. I don't play any of these games. I have no leg in this race. However, I was surprised by the first Hot Wheels game, so I will vote for the second Hot Wheels game. That's it. Uh, we're not gonna have a discussion on this. We're gonna move on. Best sim strategy game. I surprisingly haven't heard a whole lot on Pikmin 4. For all the hype leading up to it, it came out and I didn't hear much. I also haven't heard much on how do you vote on this? You go to did I copy the link? I don't think I did. thegameawards.com. You go to thegameawards.com, create an account, and then vote. And so yeah, so really it's gonna come down to like these games. And I don't know. I don't know, like I would love for um City Skyline 2. I would love for this to be the unequivocal winner, but it came out with a lot of like performance issues. Like people could have a 4090 and the game can still crash because it's not optimized very well. That hurts. I'll probably vote for City Skyline because I've enjoyed what I've seen, but I'm also like a sucker for Advance Wars. Advance Wars was like my thing on the Game Boy Advance back in the day. I haven't played the reboot. I want to. I waited. Like this got delayed over and over again. Um, yeah, yeah. I haven't had a chance to play it since the reboot though, so hopefully, one of these days I'll be able to enjoy that. Best family game. So we got Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals again, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This one's gonna be an interesting one because like I don't know, like these are all respectable nominations. I expect probably Super Mario Bros. Wonder to win. That's my expectation. I'm fine with the winning. What I've seen from Super Mario Bros. Wonder looks pretty dope. God damn it. It's a family game. It's a family game. But yeah, yeah. We're gonna go on now. Make your vote. Best fighting game. Yet again, I don't play these kind of games. Um, Probably Street Fighter 6, probably. I mean, do you think Mortal Kombat 1's gonna beat that? Like, I don't know. Maybe. It's gonna come down to Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6, in my opinion. No offense to the other three, but yeah, these two are the main ones. Um, Again, I have no dog in the fight. I don't play fighting games. Best RPG. Though, here's Starfield. LOL. Again, it's man. Like I'm just gonna say like I don't think Starfield is like big on the RPG factors. Like when I think about like if when I think about like RPGs like this year, I I don't look at like Starfield and be like, this is the RPG. Um Honestly, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is probably gonna win. These like Liza P has some RPG elements to it, but I don't look at it as like an RPG game. Like let me ask you guys this. Guys, gals, and everything else. Everybody who's here. When you think about Elden Ring, do you think of Elden Ring as a RPG game? Like when we talk about like what it is in its base form, is Elden Ring an RPG? Lies PP. Okay, nine nine. That's my thing. The reason why I bring up Elden Ring in the RPG conversation is because like Elden Ring and Liza P, both fairly similar games. And I don't look at Elden Ring as an RPG, and I wouldn't look at Liza P as an RPG game. I look at it as more like an action game that has RPG elements. It's a it's an RPG light, if you will. Anyways, Baldur's Gate 3. Best action adventure game. Yeah, we got some heavy hitters. I forgot Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out this year. That's how stacked this year has been. It's just a stacked year, and like when you look at these five, like everybody's entitled to whatever opinion they have of the five. I don't even know who I would vote for, honestly. But all five of these, solid. I am a little bit surprised that Alan Wake 2 already made the list. Yeah. Alan Wake 2 just came out. Zelda probably because you really go on adventure. Yeah. When we talk about what embodies, that's interesting what happens there. When we talk about like best action adventure, like yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, truly an adventure. Like this is a choose your own adventure game. Whereas the other ones, you know, you don't quite have the same freedom. Yeah, no, it did launch in a bad state. It did launch in a bad state. It got better. I don't want to say it's good yet, like in terms of performance. Right. No, I agree. Liza P should have been here. But Liza P would lose to all of these games. I would put Baldur's Gate 3 more RPG than I would action adventure, TBH. Just because of the systems that are involved. Like it is more of a systems game, so I would definitely put it more RPG than I would action adventure. Wait. Action adventure. Action. Ah. Okay. And then yeah, we have yet another slew of decent to good games. Yeah, so we got Armor Core 6, which I never thought I would see the day. Dead Island 2, which I'm surprised is on this list. But when I think about like what else would be on this list, I don't know who else would be on this list. Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush was the sleeper hit that started off the year, and Remnant 2. I mean, I think among these five, like, yeah, Armor Core 6 was pretty dope, but Remnant 2 also did well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Remnant 2 wins, but I would really like Armor Core 6 to win. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Dead Island 2 was just like is Dead Island 2 an action game? Yes. Is it a very thrilling or exciting one? No. But it can scratch an itch if that's the itch you had. But if you don't have that one, it doesn't quite do it. I did enjoy Ghost Runner, but I never played Ghost Runner 2, so can't speak to this one. Best VR AR. So I don't have VR AR. I've been hoping, praying, wishing that more games would come to VR or AR sooner rather than later. I think if there's a game that I would personally play on VR or AR, it would be Humanity. But yeah, like driving would be cool. I also want to try like No Man's Sky in VR because like that's the thing you can do, and I think that would be really fucking cool. Um, I haven't seen or heard anything about Horizon Call the Mountain. Uh, we haven't gone there, so we're going in reverse order. So Game of the Year will be the last one. Game of the Year will be the last one. We're starting from the bottom, and soon we will be here. Best mobile game. I don't play mobile games. I'm gonna be honest. So I have zero idea. Like I know a lot of people play Honkai Star Rail. I do not play Honkai Star Rail. I did play Genshin back in the day. I don't play Genshin anymore. Yeah, and like you're thinking there's like I think sheer popularity and where it is amongst these games, Honkai would be there. I am happy to see Terra Nil up here, but I think Honkai is probably gonna win, and that's fine. Best debut indie game. Now this one, again, um, this is such a tough category right now. Like again, on the topic of we have been eating good this year, all these indie games, amazing. All of them amazing. You have Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, Viewfinder. Like this is unbelievable. I think, God, I am torn, unfortunately. Yeah, like Viewfinder is amazing. Oh my God. But Venba, like, I think I'm glad that it was made. I think it stands for something and it is nominated in a different category. So I will, for this category, I would vote either Viewfinder or Dredge specifically, as much as I would like to vote for Pizza Tower because, pizza. I got my emote there. Like, these are all solid games, but it would either be Dredge or Viewfinder. Like those are my votes, to be honest. Um, it's just tough. Like Dredge, I mean they're both just an experience. I don't know. I don't know. I think if I had to vote on one, it would probably be Viewfinder, strictly because as much as I love Dredge, I would love for this team to make more games. Like if I had to pick one, I want Viewfinder to win because I want them to make more games, please and thank you. Um, best independent game. So here we are. A lot of the same ones. We got yet again Cocoon right here, so you can see. We got Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, Viewfinder. And so again, I would like for Dredge to win, but there is a cult following behind Dave the Diver, and I wouldn't be mad if they won. So, more power to Dave. Hope they get the W. But again, if whoever wins here, totally fine. Totally fine. And yeah, I would agree. Action adventure, yeah, for sure, for sure. But again, because it is indie, like it's hard for Dave the Diver to like compete against what we saw in the action adventure. Like Dave the Diver versus like Baldur's Gate 3, it's not fair. Like it, as much as there's a lot of love behind Dave the Diver, like it's just tough. And then this one, holy cow, best community support. Recognize a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. D2 100%. So we got Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, No Man's Sky. And the reason why I am upset is because the timing. The timing of this is terrible. Literally 2 weeks ago, roughly, is when Bungie pretty much fired most of their community managers from the office. There's only a few community managers left. I think there's like 2 or 3. Like, it is such a joke. And again, like, yes, when you look at the overall year, yes, the community managers were great. There was a lot of communication with Destiny, with Bungie. Like, yes, 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 yes. But the timing sucks because 2 weeks ago they laid off everybody else. So, um, yeah, I think, I think my vote here goes to No Man's Sky. That is my vote. Like, I do have respect, obviously, for Final Fantasy 14, Cyberpunk 2077, and Baldur's Gate 3. Um, like, as much as like these games are constantly updated, like Baldur's Gate 3 has gotten a bunch of updates. Cyberpunk 2077 has gotten a bunch of updates. But I think like if we had to like choose one that talks about the best community support and where the game is now, like both Cyberpunk 2077 and No Man's Sky both launched rough. But I think No Man's Sky and Hello Games is leaps and bounds ahead with community faith compared to CD Projekt Red. Yes, Phantom Liberty was good. 2.0, the big update for a lot of the stuff in Cyberpunk 2077 is good. But like, I am super grateful that Hello Games stuck with No Man's Sky and brought it to where it is now. So Baldur's Gate 3 is a new release this year, so every update has been just updates to fix the game and things like that. Cyberpunk 27 has gotten both updates, fixes, and a new content launch. Like, they had the Phantom Liberty DLC, and they reworked the skills and a lot of the other systems in the game. They took inspiration from the Edge Runners anime and brought that into here. Destiny 2 had its new DLC and a bunch of updates, stuff like that. Final Fantasy 14 always has a new annual DLC, bunch of updates. And No Man's Sky, again, they just have constantly large, big, chunky updates. And with No Man's Sky, like, they've been No Man's Sky has been getting all these chunky updates that are like, oh my god, like this. Any other company would market these updates as a DLC and charge people for it. That's gonna cost you $30. That's gonna cost you $40. But Hello Games, with every one of these chunky updates, I think they've had like 11 or 13 updates, something like that, some ridiculous amount of big updates. Everyone's been free. You pay the $60, or if you're lucky, it's $30. And you don't have to pay for any of these DLCs. That's wild. That's wild. Every other company today, every other company would charge you money for the stuff Hell Games is giving you. So that's my vote. That's my vote. If you want to vote for Baldur's Gate 3 or Cyberpunk 27, totally fine. Both respectable. Or if you want to vote for Final Fantasy 14, also respectable. Don't vote for Destiny 2. Oh, please. I play this game. I'm almost at 2,000 hours just in Destiny 2. Like, on Steam. I'm not voting for Destiny 2. I'm not voting for it. Please don't do it. Moving on. Best ongoing game. So we're going to have a lot of your normal suspects here. We have Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin. I think, like, here's the one that I want to win. Excuse me. I have a game that I want to win, but there's going to be a game that's probably going to win. The game, there's no writing candidates, unfortunately. The game that I want to win here would be Cyberpunk 2077. That is the game that I would want to win. The game that's likely going to win is like I think Sakuri mentioned it, Genshin or Fortnite. Fortnite just had their OG map update, and so like there's a huge amount of like support for Fortnite right now. So if there's a time for it to strike hot right before the votes, yeah, Genshin Impact just had their big update. So yet again, it's more powerful the course. So it's more Genshin. If you like Genshin before, guess what? There's more. A whole new region unlocked, more characters, more waifus, more husbandos. All right. If you hear my Genshin history. uh do share your Genshin history. I mean, I'm not I'm I played Genshin up until the beginning of this year. Um I'm not one to talk. I know there's no judgment here from me regarding Genshin. All right. Games for impact. For a thought provoking game with a pro social meaning or message. We have 6 games. We have A Space for the Unbound. We have Chance of Sonar. Goodbye Volcano High. Tchia. Terra Nil. And Venba. And oh my god, this category is yet again another one that is absolutely stacked. Welcome back, Spaceballs. This category is absolutely stacked. Um, my vote is torn between 4 games because you have Chance of Sonar, Tachia, Terranil, Venba. These are the 4 games I would like to vote for, but I can only vote for one. I think in terms of narrowing my scope, I'd probably either do Tachia or Venba, but that's my vote. All these games, really, honestly, like if you're curious, add all of these games to your wish list on Steam, and if you got a little extra money in your pocket, pick one of them up. I believe they're all on Steam. I believe. Check them out. Whenever you're bored, you want to play something different, these games will swap it up for you. They're all charming in their own different ways. Innovation in accessibility. Recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. I gotta be honest, I don't follow the technology that comes out for accessibility. So I don't know what these games have brought in terms of like accessibility features. So I unfortunately cannot like make a recommendation here. I'm assuming that these all have various features that enable players. Uh, I can only hope, in terms of like the innovation and accessibility, I can only hope that like the people that I normally hear about this tech from are from players who are, have like their different levels of ableness, or that they're advocates for that. Like, for example, there's Charlotte Azard. She works for Santa Monica Studios. She does, I forgot the award show, but she does an award show with, I think it's Steven Spawn, I think is this his name. They do an award show for games that have different features and abilities for enabling players. And again, speaking of Steven, he would be another person that I would look at. Um, and again, like there's a couple streamers who have different levels of ableness. Like there's one guy, I believe. I gotta look this up. Hold up. I don't want to speak inaccurately. I didn't realize I closed that window. The more you know. Because there's one guy who I like to watch. Is that really what it is? That's really what it is. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm gonna put. Oh, I'm sorry if y'all heard that. I don't know if I have Chrome muted or not. All right. Where did that window go? There it is. This is a guy who I do watch on occasion. Yeah, his more recent ones don't have his webcam on it, but let me go back here because I do want to like not necessarily shout him out, but um, Super Blind Man is a Twitch streamer who, believe it or not, blind. Um, and like it's through him that I actually learned about in The Last of Us Part 2 a lot of the tech that got put into there to help people with, again, seeing or hearing impairments and like how The Last of Us Part 2 helps enable people. I thought it was pretty cool seeing it in action. He was the one who taught me about that. So, super dope streamer. And he's really good too. Like, especially for a lot of the games that like might be a little bit more technical. Like, he is a better technical player than I am. So, um, again, I would have to like look up to see what these games did in terms of enabling people before I vote. So, we have best performance, and this is another stacked category. We have Ben Starr in Final Fantasy 16. You got Cameron here with Jedi Survivor. You have Idris Elba. Everybody calm down. Calm down. Okay? Everybody calm down. I know it looks like he's looking right at you. I know you look at that and you're like, damn. Everybody calm down. Calm down. We have Melanie Lippert here from Alan Wake 2. We have Neil with Baldur's Gate 3 and Yuri Lowenthal as well. Stereo's gonna kill you. And again, I would say like in strictly yeah, I would love to look half as good as this man does. I I would love to sound half as good as this man does. Also, fun fact, there's an interview with Idris Elba leading up to Phantom Liberty. And somebody asked him, they're like, hey, congratulations on being in Phantom Liberty. Did you know that people are probably going to mod the game so they can have sex with your pixel character in game? And then he like kind of chuckles all bashfully. He's like, did they do this with Keanu? And they're like, yep. He's like, all right, not bad. And I just laugh. So good. So good. So I I don't know. I am torn. Like my I mean he probably thought that to a small degree, but I'm sure he's probably heard and or read all the people who thirst for this man. Like there's no way he doesn't know that people on Twitter are probably like, "Oh God, Idris Elba." Like, there's no way. There's no way he doesn't know. No way he doesn't know. So, I mean, he probably thought a little bit weird, but also, you're welcome. I don't know. My vote is a little bit torn. Um, it can be taken as a compliment, depending on how you see yourself and all that. Like, you might just be like, "Hey, you're welcome. Thank you." I don't know. I liked Yuri's performance. Uh, my vote would be torn between Idris Elba and Yuri. Like, again, when you think about um, Solomon Reed, you think about your boy Peter Parker. Like, again, solid. I haven't seen enough Alan Wake 2, so I can't speak to her performance, unfortunately. Like, this game literally just came out. I know some people already beat it, but it literally just came out. I haven't had time to really, like, know. um, so, um, but yeah, again, there's no such thing as a bad vote. No such thing as a bad vote here. Moving on. Best audio design. All right. Again, this is all very tough. I think, in terms of my opinion, again, I don't know Alan Wake too much. I've only seen small parts of gameplay. Sounds good. I can only talk to you. Like, I have seen both, Resident Evil 4, Spider-Man. Um, I don't know if the audio design is really like all that in a bag of chips in these two. For me, it comes down to Dead Space and Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush, literally like a rhythm game, so its audio design is gonna be dope. Um, and Dead Space, I feel like really like you put on your headphones and you go in, like it really brings you in. So I don't know. I don't know who I would vote for between these two. Um, Dead Space probably good audio must suck. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I don't know. I think Dead Space would be my vote, but Hi-Fi Rush also pretty solid. Again, my opinions. If y'all want to vote for the other ones, knock yourself out. Best score in music. Dun dun dun. So again, we got Alan Wake 2 yet again, Baldur's Gate 3 yet again, Final Fantasy 16 again, Hi-Fi Rush again, and Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And their composers. Uh, you got Petri Alenko, Borislav Slavov, Masayoshi Soken, Shuichi Kobori, and the Nintendo Sound Team. Can I get temporary modding power to Ben? No. Uh, yeah. I think when we talk about best score in music, like, I mean, again, like my torn choice is between Baldur's Gate 3, Hi-Fi Rush. Again, rhythm game, so it's gotta bring the music, but like the music, big mood. Then we got best art direction, and this is one of those titles. This is one of those categories. I'm always like, what does it mean? For outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. I mean, if we're going strictly on that, I mean, Liza P is a decent choice, but for me, be again either Hi-Fi Rush or Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I feel like both of them push that like direction. Yeah, Liza P is basically a Pinocchio story, but like it's the same but different. But yeah, in terms of like, because like again, like in terms of like art direction, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, it's this similar art as it was with Breath of the Wild, the thing that blows this one out, like saying like this, the thing that sets this one apart is that now you have the floating aisles, and then you also have the underground area. So you have a whole lot more space, a whole lot more direction. Um, but again, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is graphically or artistically, unique for being a side scroller, but having the 3D elements to it. And again, Hi-Fi Rush, it is very unique, I would say, in my opinion. Liza P, again, artistically interesting, but also not interesting. Like, I think its setting is pretty unique, but it doesn't like necessarily wow me. Right, and I agree. I agree with that. And again, I cannot speak enough about Alan Wake 2, so that's the only reason why. Like I've seen some streams of people playing it. Again, in terms of like art, like or art direction, like I'm not gonna look at this like, wow, this is artistically like wow. And there's also like a lot of like flashing and things for the like a lot of the emotions and ideas that they're trying to convey, and I find it to be very harsh. So again, my vote is gonna be between Hi-Fi Rush, Super Mario Wonder. I think this is where I vote for Hi-Fi Rush. This guy. Spaceballs literally just came in here just to like, oh hey, I see that we went past the community management talk. Let's talk about it again. No. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And yeah, I mean, this one, hands down, if you're talking about story, just pure story, like, like, again, I liked what Phantom Liberty did. I like what Phantom Liberty did. But, like, if you're talking about, like, just pure, here's a story, like, like, how they made Baldur's Gate 3 and what Baldur's Gate 3 could be for so like Baldur's Gate 3 can be so unique for every person. It's just unbelievable. So Baldur's Gate 3. That's my vote. Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's hard to vote for all these games because again, like there's some categories where I don't know. Like when it came to like the fighting games and the racing games, like I don't know those games. Yeah, different endings, narratives, so good. Yep. Best game direction. This is another like the art direction. Best game direction. It's like awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I just like this category has been around for a while. This category has been around for a while, but it bothers me every time because I'm just like, what is that? What does this mean? Because like, how does best game direction, you know, differ necessarily from game of the year? Because like we're talking about, I feel like we talk about the same thing, you know. Anyways, here we are. Best game directions. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom again. So a lot of the similar suspects here. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Like, this is more Zelda. Hey, we heard you like Breath of the Wild, so we're gonna give you 3 times the amount of Breath of the Wild. And again, this is hey, we heard you like Spider-Man. We're gonna give you double the Spider-Man. Um, man, I don't know. Like for me, like I lean on Baldur's Gate 3, but from what I've heard, because I've heard a couple of voices in the industry that I respect, people talking about how good Alan Wake 2 was. But yet again, I haven't seen like an Alan Wake 2 playthrough start to finish. It literally just came out I haven't had time to sit down and like flesh through a whole playthrough. Um, and I'm not gonna be playing Alan Wake 2. I never played Alan Wake 1. Not my kind of game. But I respect games that like do something unique or different. And I've heard some unique things about what they did with Alan Wake 2. And I've seen people talk about how Remedy, the bakers behind it, um, I've heard a lot of glowing praise for Remedy. So in terms of like if we're gonna talk about like a game direction, um, again, I think Alan Wake 2 is doing things that are pretty unique. Not to say that Baldur's Gate 3 didn't do things unique as well, because it did. But I don't know. My vote for this category is between these two, but I haven't heard enough on Alan Wake 2 to really like go for it. Fortunately, we still have 24 days before the Game Awards start. I don't know when voting stops, but yeah. Um, no, and I understand that like there's no objectivity. Like I'm not trying to like sit here and like look at these things objectively. Um, but I am trying to like look at it from like different lenses to see like where one might stand better than in the other. Because for me, when we talk about Game of the Year, this is the big one. This is the one we're going to see at the very, very, very end of the Game Award show. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom. We have 6 games here for Game of the Year. And all 6 games, pretty solid. But if you want my vote and what I think, if you want to know what my Game of the Year is, my Game of the Year is Baldur's Gate 3. That's part of the reason why, for game direction, I'm like, yeah, I'm interested in game direction, but I think if we're looking for like a unique direction, I'll throw my game direction to Alan Wake 2 because I know that like the game of this year that like you tell anybody and everybody, you're like, yeah, hey, I kind of was living under a rock, didn't play any games this year. What do you recommend? The automatic recommendation should be, hey, well, if you haven't played anything this year and you don't have a lot of time, and you only have time for like one good game, Baldur's Gate 3. Yes, this is a very meaty, large game. And depending on how, the game goes for you, you might have to play it multiple times before you beat the game one time. Um, but still, like if you only can buy one game and play one game, for me, the one game of this year, the game of this year, is Baldur's Gate 3. Am I sponsored by Baldur's Gate 3? I am not. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm a small time streamer. I'm just but a wee young lad. Nobody sponsors me. I'm out here. I got my, oh, you guys can't see it. It's like right below like where my hand is. I have like if I could choose, I have 2 businesses. We're gonna take a little side here. I have 2 businesses that I would love to sponsor me. And I don't care what any of y'all say. I got 2 businesses that I want to sponsor me. One of them is legit. The other one, it's also legit, but it's a different kind of legit. I want Elgato to sponsor me. I have the Wave mic right here. Let me pull this up. Sorry for any mic noise. But I have my Elgato mic here. I got it on a Elgato arm. That camera that's looking at me, that's the Elgato face cam. I have the Stream Deck. I have the Wave XLR for this microphone. Like, I got a lot of Elgato things, and all I want, I want 2 more things, and this is where Elgato, like, I'm not partnered on Twitch, but I do recommend your products a lot. That's a starter. I like your products. And what I want, so help a brother out, is I could use 2 key lights, and I want the Elgato prompter. Like, they just came out with a prompter. Chat, I know this is dumb. I know this is dumb. You're like, you want a prompter? Yes, Elgato came out with a prompter. It's basically a device that sits around the webcam, and so it's a monitor display here around the webcam. Because right now, when I want to read chat, if you guys see where my eyes are looking right now, my eyes are over here, because this is where you guys are. If I had the prompter, I could look at you guys. I could give you guys eye contact with the prompter. Like, hey, what's going on? But I can't do that. So, Elgato, help a brother out. If I can get one thing, give me the prompter, please, and thank you. Anyways, the other business that I want to sponsor me, and I will sing them praises from the high mountains to the low valleys and all over. Taco Bell. Taco Bell, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Taco Bell. I'm not even like, it's not even like a lie. Like, I know you guys are like, what the fuck's up with this guy? No BS. Taco Bell. I just need like them to like sponsor a meal once every other week or something. If they want to do it weekly, I do weekly. We would do this week with Boss Quest. Yeah. The Baja Blast. Let's go. I just want that Taco Bell gaming sponsorship, bro. That's all I want. That's all I want. I will sit here. I will bring the top down. I will have the top down camera and the face camera. I'll get a third camera so we can have different angles of me eating Taco Bell right here. I will do that shit on stream. Because I don't know if you guys know this. I don't generally eat on stream because I don't want you guys to see me eat on stream. But I will do this for Taco Bell. They don't have to pay me money. Just give me food. That's all I want. Like, that's all I want. What I need is like a Taco Bell themed keycap set. I want something that reminds me of the old school Taco Bell like store like design, not the new school, old school. We want that shit from the past. If it has to be the modern stuff, it's fine. It's fine. Anyways, that's the 2 sponsors that I want. I have 0 right now. 0 sponsors. But please, Elgato, Taco Bell, if you're watching, hit a homie up. That is bossquesttv@gmail.com. Can't wait to work with you. Oh, man. Anyways. You guys are like, fuck this guy. I cannot even. Anyways, back to business. Game of the year. Baldur's Gate 3. The end. Thanks for joining, chat. Thanks for joining, everybody. What a detour we took. Oh, man. I love it. But yeah, I mean, because again, like, just a rewind real quick. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 did some magical things. For those of us who already love D&D or love, you know, kind of the classic RPG games out there, Baldur's Gate 3 is that. It is the poster child of that. But then Baldur's Gate 3 did something that, like, Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 and Pathfinder 1 and 2 could not do, which is to get people who hate classic RPGs to play and like a classic RPG. Right, Sagiri was already we're security and I, we're on the we're on the same we're the same wavelength. Like like Baldur's Gate 3 just like grew this space in ways that no other game or anything could do. And then I forgot who mentioned it in chat earlier. So somebody also brought up the D&D movie. Like when you talk about the D&D movie and then you talk about Baldur's Gate 3, like both of these have done so much for like D&D and D&D-esque properties. Um that like it's just unfathomable, you know? Like after people watch the D&D movie, like so many people wanted to get into like their own D&D campaigns and things like that. And again, Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion, no offense to anybody else, but Baldur's Gate 3 is like the, hey, we want to play D&D, but nobody wants to be the dungeon master. Don't worry, we got it. So, like, Baldur's Gate 3 is impeccable. And Larian Studios is independent. They did this by themselves. Now, don't get Larian Studios confused with a lot of the indie developers and indie games that we saw. Because even though they're indie, they're AAA indie. Larian Studios grew to about like 400 staff, whereas most of the indie games that we've seen through here don't have 400 staff. They don't have, most of these indie developers that we've talked about don't have like 400, like they don't have money for 400 people. like like they don't have the money for that. And Larian Studios was like, and yeah, like I think Segura was the one who brought it up. Like there was a lot of issues with getting Baldur's Gate 3 to where it is now. But Larian Studios was like, we're going to do this right. And as much as it sucked to wait and wait and wait and see all the issues, we eventually got what we got. And I don't think anybody's upset by what we got. Like, if this was any other company, excuse me, if this was any other company under a publisher, we wouldn't get it. Because, like, when you think about Remedy, again, at least Alan Wake 2 was partially published, if not completely published by Epic Games. You have Insomniac Games, who's under Sony Interactive. You have Capcom, who's developer and publisher. You got Nintendo. Like, no other publisher would let Larian do what Larian did. Larian's like was like, we're gonna take our time. We're just gonna make this happen how it's gonna happen. Nintendo, maybe I'm moving myself back now that we're done with this talk. I'm moving myself back. Nintendo, maybe, but like we've seen with some Nintendo properties, not these ones. We've seen with some Nintendo properties that like sometimes Nintendo's down to take the time, and sometimes Nintendo's like, put it out there. Pokemon, Pokemon Company, just put it out there. I don't care how buggy it is, just put it out. Again, Siggy and I have the same wavelength here, same brain cell. But yeah, so again, that's why, again, no offense to these other 5 games. I've watched Spider-Man 2 gameplay. I don't have a PS5. I would like to have a PS5 to play this. This will eventually come out to PC eventually, like in 3 years. So I'll play it then. Resident Evil 4, too spooky for me. But again, I enjoyed what they did with this. I enjoyed, again, all these games, really good games. And again, that's the problem that I was mentioning earlier in this stream. That's the problem is like we just went through, let's go here, view all categories. We got all these categories with 4 to 6 games for most of them. We have all these categories and all these games, and like it is easy to say when you look at these games that like these are 6 of the best games of this year. And we saw a lot of other games that were pretty good, if not great. We are eating good as gamers in the year 2023. But yet again, 6,500 people have lost their jobs in gaming. Sorry, 6,500 people lost their jobs in gaming this year. We've had the most competitive and best year in gaming, both critically and commercially. And 6,500 people had to lose their jobs for it. Now, I will say this as kind of like my unfortunate prediction. Not that I want to put this out there, but Larian Studios grew tremendously. I think they went from like 100 staff to 400 to make Baldur's Gate 3. We know that there's some future Baldur's Gate content that's going to come at some point. But once when they're done with that content, whenever that is, I do expect that they're probably going to let some staff go. Like, you can't keep 400 people on the payroll because, like, it costs a lot of money, especially independently. Like, and you cannot hope or guarantee that Baldur's Gate 4 will do as much as. No, I mean, I would still say that Larian is indie because they are independent. Like, they do their own thing. Like, they don't report to Epic Games or Sony Interactive or, you know, any of the other ones. Like, they just do their own thing. They don't have some almighty big company that says you must publish at this point. But there's no guarantee that Baldur's Gate 4 will do as well as Baldur's Gate 3. We don't even know if there's going to be a Baldur's Gate 4. And Larian, the owner of the CEO, president, whatever, I don't know his title, but the guy behind Larian Studios, the founder, he's already said they're after they do the content, the extra content for Baldur's Gate 3, they're going to make something else. So it's not Baldur's Gate 4. He said that they're going to do something else. There is a Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are both older properties, older games. I played both Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And so they're going to do something else, but whatever Larian Studios moves on to, they're not going to keep 400 people on payroll for that. So sometime next year or the year after, we'll see Larian Studios lays off 200 of its staff or 300 of its staff, you know? Like that's the unfortunate like circumstances. They grew to be able to make this. That's where having an Epic Games, or more importantly, more than Epic Games, because I don't think Epic Games does this, but like when you talk about like Sony Interactive, when you talk about Xbox games, when you talk about Activision, like, as you know, say what you will about a lot of these publishers, like Ubisoft, EA, what they do, what they can afford is they can take small studios to support other studios. So like Insomniac Games was the main one behind Spider-Man 2, but maybe if Insomniac needed help, Sony Interactive could tap one of the lesser studios to help with it, and then move that studio to something else while Insomniac Games does whatever. And so like there's less volatility when you talk about these bigger companies because they can move studios around to support studios and kind of curb some of the layoffs that could happen. No, and that's the reason why I brought up EA, because EA does support indies. Like It Takes Two. I forget the name of the publisher, the company that develops It Takes Two, but that game was published by EA, and they've received both monetary support, and I think they received some developer support in the process a little bit. So like that's the pros and cons when you talk about like having a big publisher versus independent publishing. Look at Mass Effect. It wasn't EA's decision. Yeah, yeah, and Mass Effect. Um, Mass Effect is a specific, interesting situation, and obviously, um, I'm blanking on BioWare's other Dragon Age. Dragon Age. Um, all eyes on Dragon Age. Like that's the next, the next game from them. So we'll see how that goes. Um, so that'll be interesting. Um, but yeah, so we'll see how it all goes. But like, obviously, it's just one of those things where with the Game Award show, it has been asked. Like, there's again, I would show it to you guys, but I don't want to go through my Twitter because I don't know what will come up from Twitter. My account is usually fine, but people be weird and Twitter be weird, so we're not gonna go there. Next time I'll probably like take screenshots of what I see so I can just share the screenshot without risking going through Twitter. Um, People have asked like for Jeff Keighley, who is the big guy behind the Game Awards. People have asked Jeff Keighley in the Game Awards to address the layoffs that we've had and hopefully for there to be change. Um, like I know that for CD Projekt Red, the developers there just unionized, so the union will hopefully help combat potential layoffs coming down the road. Not to say that I am in full support of unions, but I think at the very least, video game developers should be unionized because the alternative is this massive ebb and flow that we get where Larian Studios hires 300 people, you make a hit game, but then that's it, you move on to other games, and those other games may or may not be as commercially successful, so you have to lay off 1 2 300 people. And so it's very volatile, and like people sometimes have to move, like going back to Bungie fired 100 people. I don't know how many of those 100 people moved to Bellevue, Washington to go work for Bungie. And now they have to figure out what's next. Fortunately, Bellevue's not too far from a lot of the other developers and other companies out there. So, they could stay out there if they wanted to. But some companies are based in places where it's not ideal. So it's just one of those things where it's like the industry is in a weird spot where we celebrate all this cool good shit, but still there is like a record bad shit happening. I mean, well, I'm curious to see how this goes. Y'all can save the date, December 7th. Um, I don't know. Does it say what time? Does it say what time this thing starts? If I click on add event to calendar, do you give me a time? 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Oh my god, this is 3.5 hours. Oh, that's probably like the pre-show and shit too. Haha. That's probably like the pre-show stuffs. Um, I don't know. I don't know. If I'm like not doing anything on this day, I might stream this, but no promises. That's still a little, a little under a month away, so we will see. We got 3 weeks. that is my super short show.